In this lesson, we'll look at G and C chord progressions. We'll use G as our kind of our root. If we look in Figure 1, the notes from the G pentatonic, we'll notice that they are almost the same notes as in Figure 2 with the C pentatonic. The only difference is instead of playing that B note that we have in the G pentatonic, B here and a B with the open string here, we raise it up a half a step to C. Instead of playing B, we play C. So what does this mean exactly? Well, virtually all the other notes are shared between both the pentatonics, G pentatonic and C pentatonic. So you can almost interchange these two scale patterns together. In Figure 3, we'll see a nice little easy riff using the open strings, going from G to C. It's just they both share those open strings, and again, the only difference between is if we played that C on the C and with the B on the G. But in Figure 4, we can see another example of G and C working together. We have a fill that leads into the G chord, and then a similar fill that leads into the C chord. And the fill that we use to go into the C chord, we just add the C notes and replace the B notes with the C notes. So you can see how those two chords can use to work together, and their scale patterns, you can use those scale patterns to kind of interplay between them too. Now the notes of these two scales are completely interchangeable when played over the G and C, and the reason is the notes, even that if you do add that C over the G, that the C is the fourth scale step in the G major scale anyways. And if we do play the B with the C, well, that's okay, because the B is the seventh scale step of a C major scale. So in order to kind of visualize this, I put together this exercise for you in Figure 5. What we do is we're going to play the G chord, and then without moving our fingers, as far as moving them out of position, we're going to maintain this same position, and then we're going to play up the scale like this. Do that again because I messed up a little bit. G, we're going to maintain our fingers there. Then we're going to play the C. Then we're going to play the C pentatonic. So the whole exercise would be like this. And you know, you practice that and get your hands to stay put when you're doing those scale patterns, and it will work. Things will work out a lot better for you. But another thing you can do is switch the chords around. Instead of start with the G chord, start with the C chord, and then play the G pentatonic. And then play the G, and then play the C pentatonic. And you know, so it's kind of a weird exercise to do, but it'll make you think about these patterns and shapes a little bit differently. Because you know, when we're trying to be creative, it's a good idea to have as much knowledge or ideas as we can to pull from when we're being creative. For case in point, you know, if we added the C to our G, what is that? Do you remember what that is? Well, that's our G suspended fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. And technically, if we're looking at the pentatonics, that C doesn't belong there. Of course, in the G major scale it does. So a lot of this stuff totally overlaps, and you know, this is a case in point with the G and C pentatonics. Very close together, similar, very similar notes. I mean, one note difference between them. So it's hard to go wrong if you know what's right. So we'll see you next time.